Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the HawgBeat Hoops postgame show. I'm Jackson Collier, as always, joined by Rylan McFerrin, managing editor of HawgBeat.com over at Arkansas Rivals. Interesting game, to say the least. Kind of a Jekyll and Hyde game of sorts. One of the worst halves of basketball I've ever seen Arkansas play in the first half, and then a really strong second half. Plenty of stuff to talk about tonight. Individual player performances, how bad the first half was, offensively, defensively, all around. Change what happened in the second half to change, all that sort of stuff. But first, I think what we need to touch on is just how bad that first half was.
Yeah, I mean, at halftime, the score was 35-28, right? And Arkansas was down 7 to an Abilene Christian team that hasn't been very good, right? I mean, they were 5-6 coming into this game. So, and a lot of that was just to do with Arkansas just looked disjointed offensively. Nothing was working. There wasn't a flow. They weren't getting transition buckets, which is something that has been prevalent under Eric Musselman. Just rough all the way around. And that's kind of been an issue this season. The offense hasn't been, as good as people had hoped. Sometimes it has been, but definitely not in the first half of this game. Something that, did kind of get fixed in the second half. They did a lot better. But that first half, I mean, at the end, you could look on social media and you could figure out pretty quickly how Arkansas fans were thinking. It was rough, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and I guess just looking at the way they played the first half, it was almost like they just had no energy, no desire to be on the court. Looking lethargic the whole first half. I tweeted out during the first half, I was like, anemic would be a kind way to describe it. It didn't look good at all. I don't know what happened with the 0.5 second rule that we heard about about a week ago before the Lipscomb game, where, we're going to promote ball movement by, you're not supposed to have the ball in your hands for half a second until you take a dribble, make a pass, take a shot. Lot of guys just hanging on to the ball, not doing anything, not moving or dribbling in space. It was just like you said, disjointed. There are times where guys were talking to each other in the middle of a play, like trying to figure out where they're supposed to be on the court, which is very not good. Especially this late in the season. It's not like, it's game 1, game 2. They're one game away from conference play, and they're still having guys being confused on where they're supposed to be on the court. That's an issue. All of it, man. And again, defensively, especially in the first half, even in the second half, just giving up straight line drives. This team, especially at the guard spot, guard and wings alike, they struggle keeping guys in front of them. They don't do a great job of defending on the ball. They just don't. And they got backdoored to death today, and that was aggravating.
Yeah, it's really strange. And at this point, like you said, we're one game away from conference play. We have a pretty big sample size. I think everybody, expected with the talent you have at the guard position, a Devo Davis, a Tremont Mark from Houston, you expected the defense to be a lot better from the guard spot, and it just hasn't really been that so far. You saw that in the first half today. I mean, like you said, backdoor buckets, transition defense just still isn't really there yet. And I don't know. I mean, there's only so much you can do because we are one game away from conference play. How do you fix that, right? Can you fix it? I don't know. You need to fix it because things are going to get a lot tougher from here on out. But if you can't, then how do you make up for that in other areas? I mean, offensively, you can, but you're not very consistent there, not yet at least. And so, that's going to be a big thing going forward as we get into conference play. Can this team, fix things defensively, become more consistent offensively? If they can do that, they'll win some games. But right now, I mean, I think if you asked every Arkansas fan, coming into this year, the expectation was, a top 4, maybe even a top 3 seed going into the NCAA tournament. And, now that we're really close to conference play, I think if you asked everybody again, their opinion would be a lot different, right? I mean, this team is going to have to do some work if they want to be, a top. I'm not the bracketologist here like you, but I'm not the expert. But I feel like they'll have to do some work to be a top 6 seed, maybe. I mean, just in terms of where they stand right now and how they look. I feel like they'll have to do some work. But yeah, going forward, there are some positives. That second half was a lot better. They still only won by 10, which, coming into this game, you really wanted to win by, I think we talked about it in the last postgame show, you wanted to win by 20, 25 plus against this team. That would have helped the net. They didn't get it done. They're going to have to make up for that going forward. And, just kind of talking about that defense, I mean, to end the first half, I think it was bad transition defense by, I can't remember who it was, but they got a wide open 3-point make, and you kind of felt like that was a dagger. But Arkansas came out firing in that second half, and it was big.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was just so funny. Maybe it was more humorous to us covering the team and trying to be objective, and you get so immersed in covering the team that when something like that happens, you hit a buzzer beater at halftime, and you just got to laugh sometimes. Like, man, that's if it was going to happen, it was going to happen tonight. And Arkansas bounced back from it, but it just. I mean, I'm watching from home, and I could feel the air sucked out of Bud Walton Arena from Michigan when he hit that shot. So but credit to Arkansas really for coming out not immediately in the second half. It took a few minutes. I think at the 15-minute mark or so, they really kind of flipped the switch and turned it on and started making a comeback. Took a little bit. They took the lead, and it took a little bit to expand it. I think they hung around by 2, 4 here and there, and then finally got it up to 10. One thing you touched on was just the question of how do you fix it, and that goes hand in hand with one of our questions already in the chat. Thank you guys for asking questions throughout the show. By the way, like that a lot better than just waiting to the end to a Q&A session. I like how y'all are interactive and asking as we go. But Justin Bailey said, "Who do you start going forward?" And I think that's a great question because we talked about it last post-game show. The rotation was too large. Needed to cut it down. They need to figure out who they're rolling with and go with it. I think the reason the second half was so successful was in part because they did exactly that. So if tonight is any indicator, it may or may not be. Who knows? This team is not full of consistent players at all. But I would say my 5 would probably be Keon Minifield, Caleb Battle, Tremont Mark. I'd probably go Devo and Lawson. So
no Brazil in the starting lineup.
I'm just at this point, no, I don't think I would. At this point, I would stick Lawson at the 5, and I would go 4 guards. And it doesn't have to be. I said Devo 4th, but he doesn't have to necessarily play that 4 spot. It can be Mark, it can be Battle, whoever. But I think those are the 5 right now. And that's not saying like, oh, that's all they play, because you have a rotation of 7 to 8 for a reason. But I think that lineup tonight especially showed that they're the ones who can get it done. Minifield's good at attacking, changing pace on the floor. Lawson has proven he's another one that's, like I said, he's been inconsistent this year, but he almost had a double-double tonight, 9 points, 10 rebounds. He looked good. And then obviously Mark and Battle have been the offensive workhorses all season. So I think you have a good mix there of scoring ability. And, if defense has been an issue all year and it doesn't really matter who you're playing, you might as well try to outscore somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. Talking about the starting lineup today, I mean, the bench, again, I think it's the second game in a row now that the bench has outscored the starting lineup. The bench had 62 points today, so that would leave 21 points to the starting lineup. A big reason for that is because L. Ellis, who started, only ended up playing roughly 4 minutes today, didn't score at all, only shot 1 shot. And then Jeremiah Davenport, who, has gotten, a pretty solid amount of playing time recently, didn't play a ton and, didn't score any points. So those 2 guys, they started for you. They didn't really provide anything. But, like you said, Caleb Battle, Tremont Mark, they were huge today. Tremont Mark has shown that he can score, sometimes at will, right? We saw that against North Carolina before he got hurt at the very end. But he had 25 today, was super efficient, 9 of 14 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. Again, him shooting the way he has is huge. If you can figure out how to play defense, this team is going to be completely different. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, had a double-double with 11 rebounds. You're going to take that any night. A couple assists. In 35 minutes, he was just really good. Caleb Battle was dynamite too. He was efficient himself. 5 of 8 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. And some of those threes, I know one in particular was a 3 in transition. He's that kind of guy, right? He can come down the court, and you're okay with him taking that shot if he's hot. Today he was. Him and Mark are probably the only 2 players on that court that Musselman is okay with them taking a heat check shot like that. Maybe Davenport if he's just lighting it up on a particular day. But yeah, those 2 guys were electric. Keon Minifield, he was a little rusty in that first game, only had 2 points, didn't look, overly fantastic, but was really good today, especially in the second half. He had 11 himself, 4 of 8 from the field, didn't make a single 3, was 0 for there, but he's a small dude, right? Like really small. He had 6 rebounds. Like you're going to take that. A couple assists and 4 turnovers, which, you want fixed. Speaking of Minifield, and I want to go ahead and give a shout out here. It looks like you've already put them up in the top right. Bet Saracen is a sponsor of the HawgBeat Hoops postgame show. They are a sponsor of our website, Arkansas Rivals. If you want to place any bets on Arkansas athletics or just, anything in general, they are the best place to go to do it. And if you follow me, I release a story every week that includes my best bet pick for an Arkansas basketball game. I did come up a little bit short today. I took Keon. I think the line was over 1.5 points and over 2.5 assists. I took him at plus odds because I feel like there's going to be a time in the season when getting that prop, like you're just not going to get it. So I decided to take advantage. He came up just short on the assist mark. But I think all in all, good game by those 3. And you need a little bit more from El Ellis. Devo only had 4 points, and those came at the very end, I think. He still, he had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, but yeah, it's really strange. I knew that coming into the year that you had a ton of guards and Devo maybe was going to take a back seat. I didn't expect this much of a back seat though.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Devo played the most minutes on the floor tonight for Arkansas. Played 35 minutes and scored 4 points, but they all came from the free throw line, which, you love to see somebody make free throws. Missed every single field goal opportunity that he had. And honestly, what has been a strength of Devo's for years now hasn't been all season. And it was a little bit better tonight. I'm not going to sit here and say that he was awful, but defensively, he has not been the Devontae Davis that I guess fans have grown to expect so far this season. A little bit better tonight, like I said, especially in the second half, but still not playing to the level on that side of the ball that I think most expected he would. I'm not going to call it a regression because I just think there are some serious fundamental flaws with this team defensively right now. I don't know what those are. I can point out the issues that are going wrong. I talk about it every post-game press conference. We saw it again tonight. Screen defense, allowing backdoor cuts, allowing straight line drives, allowing offensive rebounds, second chance points. This Abilene Christian team had 11 offensive rebounds and I think 19 second chance points tonight. That is abysmal. They have one guy that should be that's tall enough to even be getting rebounds against Arkansas. I think they have one guy that's 6'10", and everybody else in their roster was 6'7" or shorter, and they run a short lineup to begin with. And I know rebounds aren't all about height; they're about physicality and strength and size, which. Okay, it's Arkansas versus Abilene Christian. If you're getting out-muscled by Abilene Christian for offensive rebounds, that's not good. But I say all that to say I can point out all these issues, and I can point to what's wrong, and I can say, like, it's very fundamental. It's very basic. They're not doing this. They're not doing this. They're hedging too much or digging too much. They're overhelping or they're turning their back on the defender or the rotation's off, and all of that can be true. But how do you fix it? Because those are such fundamental foundational defensive principles. Like I'm talking going back high school level defensive principles that these guys are struggling with on a consistent basis. So I don't know how to fix that. I don't know if they can get it fixed at this point. Hopefully they can, because they need to fix the defense. And maybe Eric Musselman can pull a rabbit out of his hat. I think, everybody's talked about, oh, he's done this 3 years in a row. He can do it again. Muss even said himself in a press conference, I think it was post Lipscomb, he's like, I don't care about that. Just because it's happened 3 times before doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Like, we got to go to work. We got a ton of stuff to fix. So even he's not saying, oh, it's a sure thing to happen. But even if it does happen, this is going to be his biggest challenge yet, because this team is just so bad fundamentally defensively.
Yeah, this is definitely not a tradition, at least so far, not a traditional Eric Musselman team. Usually, if when they struggle, it's because of the offense, right? Like, usually the defense is what is keeping them in the game. It's kind of been the reverse. The offense has still struggled, but the way they've shot the ball, including today, they shot really well. Just under 52% overall, and 47% from beyond the arc. Yeah, you would never have seen that on last year's team, right? Like, never. So defensively is kind of where they're struggling right now. If they can bring that up to the level of the offense, then this team is going to be quite a bit better. But like we've said, not a lot of time to fix it. I mean, you're one game away from conference play, but this next game you're playing a UNC Wilmington team that I think is like 9-2. Like, they're a good team. They just beat Marshall tonight. So you're going to have to fix things pretty quickly if you want to keep winning. Something I also want to touch on before we get too far away from player stat lines is the play of Jalen Graham, who for the second game in a row, played really well. He had 7 points, was efficient, 2 of 2. He made his free throws, 3 of 4 from the line. He has struggled there during his career, and he looked really good. Only 3 rebounds, which I know, a big reason why he's kind of struggled with getting a lot of playing time is due to his lack of rebounding. 3 rebounds, you probably want more, but I guess whenever Chandler Lawson is grabbing 10 and Tremont Marcus grabbing 11, you can live with it, just because Jalen Graham does provide you, dare I say, an elite scoring threat in the paint. I mean, he knows how to get around the paint and get buckets. Like I said before, Chandler Lawson had a good game. He had 9 points, almost a double-double. He had 10 rebounds. Continues to play good defense with 2 blocks. Arkansas is, I want to say, top 5 or something like that in the nation in blocks. That perimeter defense has been really, really good. So it's weird that their perimeter, their paint defense is really, really good, but overall their defense isn't. And that has to do with their guard play, right? Their guards are just not, or Arkansas's guards are not keeping up with guys, allowing too many straight line drives. I guess as a whole. Let's see, do we have any good questions tonight? I don't think so. As a whole, Jackson, after this game, do you feel any better about this team, as we head into conference play?
I thought about this a lot, like leading up to us going live tonight, because I wanted to talk about this, and I don't know if I have a full-on opinion right now, because part of me wants to say I feel worse about this team because this is a home game against Abilene Christian where they just looked awful for the first 25 minutes of the game. That was some of the worst basketball I've seen in the entire Musselman era. And it would take me a little bit to go back and remember exactly how long ago it was when a Mike Anderson team played that bad. Like, that first half was awful. But then they turned it on in the second half. But I guess my counter thought is, like, why did it take the second half to flip the switch against Abilene Christian? And then even though they did that and they had a 55 point showing in the second half, like, should I feel like that second half should carry them to the UNCW game? And I just don't think so. So I think the more I'm talking about it now, I think I'm talking myself into thinking I actually feel worse about the team after tonight. I just don't understand how this team was put together with so much experience, with guys who have been on winning programs, a lot of guys who have come from losing programs as well. But there's a lot of talent there. You add the shooting, you add guys who theoretically can play defense, and you return some defenders, and you put them all together. And so far, it just hasn't worked. For whatever reason, the chemistry is off. The consistency is just not there at all. The effort is not there a lot of the time. And that goes back to the first point I made about this game, was it seemed like they were lethargic. They had no energy at all. The offense and defense both were anemic in the first half of this game. And that's against Abilene Christian. And no disrespect, because they've been a decent program in recent years, and they had Joe Golding heading up the program, who's at UTEP now. But I just don't know. I don't think I can come away from this game and sit here and think, you know what, that second half really makes me feel good about UNC Wilmington coming in. I just don't think it moves the needle for me.
No, not at all. This game as a whole doesn't do anything for me. If anything, like you said, it hurts my viewpoint and ceiling of this team. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say ceiling, right? This team again beat Duke, right? And that same Duke team that beat Baylor, a top 10 Baylor team, like Duke is really good. This team can beat really good opponents, and so that kind of leads me to the thought that what if this Arkansas team is just kind of playing to their competition? They lost to UNCG. They, were competitive at least for a decent part of the game against North Carolina. Beat Duke, and Oklahoma wasn't great, but I feel like they did struggle one year against Oklahoma. So, what if this team just kind of plays to its competition? What if after this non-conference play, I think the first game is against Auburn, and that's a pretty good Auburn team at home. That lights a fire under them. I could totally see that. It wouldn't surprise me. I've been quick, and I feel like a lot of Arkansas fans have been quick to doubt Muss before. And I don't want to go into the thought process that just because he has figured it out with his team and helped them go on a run in the past, that means it'll happen again. But he's made 3 straight Sweet 16s for a reason. He knows how to set up his team for success. And so it would not shock me if conference play starts, or at least, we get a few games into conference play and just something clicks and they go on a run. But, a lot of things have to get fixed. Something that stands up to me is still the turnover issue. They had 17 turnovers tonight, only 9 assists, only 2 steals. So, that's just not going to get it done. I think it was said on the broadcast, I can't remember the exact stat, but this Arkansas team specifically has struggled with steals in a big-time way compared to previous Musselman teams. Usually, Musselman teams are really good at taking the ball, scoring in transition, and forcing the issue. Haven't really done that very well this season. And so, for me as a whole, no, this game did not make me feel better. Really, the last stretch of games, including Oklahoma, has made me feel a lot worse after that Duke game. But keeping in mind the win over Duke, I know the potential of this team, if they can just get things to click, it can be really good. And so, it starts with UNC Wilmington.
I think for me, the biggest issue for me over this stretch of however many games, 4 or 5 games, is the fact that they just haven't looked good. It's either they haven't looked good for the whole game like Oklahoma, or they haven't looked good for extended stretches in the game like Lipscomb and like tonight. And it's hard to buy stock into a team that does that, because if there's no consistency except for being consistently bad in stretches, how do you expect to win games in conference? And I might catch some flack for this too. I caught some flack for saying this about the Oklahoma game. I'll say it about the Auburn game. The Auburn game at home is a must-win game. It just is. At this point of the season, if you lose that Auburn game, you're in a terrible spot. Absolutely terrible spot. Because that's a home game, it's a winnable game, and it's a quad 1 game. If you drop a quad 1 opportunity at home, you got to find a quad 2 and a quad 1 on the road real quick. And road games are just not they're not easy to come by in the SEC.
Yeah, I don't want to, get too ahead of myself with talking about the entire scope of SEC play, just because we do have one more non-conference game. But to your point, looking at the month of January, it is a huge month. I mean, you open up with Auburn, like you said, that is you need to win that game. You go on the road to Georgia and to Florida. You have a home game against Texas A&M, who is pretty good. They have some good non-conference wins. South Carolina is still struggling, I think. At Ole Miss, who has Chris Beard, and I think they're still undefeated, if I'm not wrong. They're looking really, really good. And then you finish off with a Kentucky game at home. They beat Louisville tonight by a lot. And then you finish the end of January with a road game against Missouri. So you're going to have plenty of opportunities to, help yourself in the net rankings in the month of January. But it's not going to matter if you can't play defense. You can't keep guards in front of you, and you can't, keep the ball in your guard's hands and stop turning it over. So a lot of things that need to be fixed. Not a lot of time to do it. That's pretty much it for me.
Hey, Riley, look at your phone right quick.
Okay.
Momentary pause here, folks. We're still on. We're still live for a second.
Looks like we have Kavion Henderson in the chat. Kavion Henderson is a recent signee of the Arkansas Razorbacks football team. He wants to join. I'm not sure how we would do that. Let's see. I think I can send an invite guests. Yes. Okay. Kavion, I just copied a link. Let me go to your Twitter here. Do you have your DMs open? Let's see. Okay, Kavion, I just copied a link to this live stream. I'm going to send it to you through your Twitter DM. If you open up that DM, it should bring you here. If it doesn't work, then I'm not too sure how we would do it. Let's see if that'll work.
Hopefully this works. Nice little treat, post-game basketball show, and get a recent.
Hey, this is why you watch the post-game show. This is why you watch the post-game show, for things just like this.
Always expect the unexpected.
Right. Well, we'll see if anything happens with that. I guess in the meantime, if you guys have any questions about this basketball game in particular, or just anything about this basketball team, be sure to leave comments below wherever you're watching, whether that's Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and we will answer any questions you might have. Oh, wait, looks like we might have Kavion here. Let me add him. Kavion, hello. Can you hear us?
What's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. What's going on, man?
Good, man. Just at the house, living life.
Did you watch the basketball game?
Oh no, I had just came from a little training. I had training today, so I came on hopped on the game.
So how things going for you since signing day?
It's been good. Trying to get some more guys on the board from a home state that I feel like we can land. So it's been good.
I mean, Kavion, going into this next season, it's going to be your freshman year. How excited are you, man? Do you think you're going to be able to contribute pretty quickly?
Most definitely, just because just from what my high school coach coached me, like technique, because I just don't run around, just making plays. I actually play my technique blocks first, and so I think that'll help me a long ways. Just only thing I'm worrying about for real is just getting stronger, because I know I can compete. I know I can help the team, and coach on the sign 2 guys from out the high school as defensive linemen. So that should explains it all right there, man, Charlie. So
Talk about your relationship with Deke Adams a little bit.
Coach Adams, man, ever since I first met him, just been me and him been locked in for a little minute. So when I met him, it just clicked on everything. I told Coach Steph what I wanted. I said I don't just want my position coaches to recruit me. I want the whole staff to recruit me. They all bought into me. Coach Adams called me. He got close to my family, all this stuff like that. And man, I stayed locked in through the good times and bad times. So So that's what they held it down, and I signed the paper yesterday. So I was happy. I knew I was making the right decision.
Kavion, what would you say is the thing you're most excited for about moving to Fayetteville and just about, the game day atmosphere, just everything about becoming a Razorback? What are you most looking forward to?
Oh, just well, I just been down there. The atmosphere is crazy on game day. I got a lot of friends down there that's coming from Alabama down there, so I'm just looking for the fans to have me a good time on game day, the game day hall walk and all the stuff like that. So I'm just ready for that most really. But like our first game at home, I just want to. I know it's gonna bring tears to my body. I just want the excitement from the fans. So,
are you excited about?
Excitement. Go ahead, Riley.
I was going to say, yeah, there's going to be plenty of excitement, but speaking to that, Arkansas is going to play, OU and Texas are joining the SEC. So, are you looking forward to being able to play them? At some point during your career, I know Arkansas plays Texas this season.
Yes, I seen the schedule. I don't know if it was true or not. Like Oklahoma State on there and stuff like that. Texas, I know they're a good team. They played Alabama last year and showed them, they can, compete with SEC teams. So I feel like it's great competition, but I feel like we're gonna turn things around this season, just because new OC. We got we hit the transfer portal hard if y'all don't see. So that's what Coach Pittman, he doing what he got to do. He know what he got to fix, and he got on it quick. He didn't waste no time. So I feel like we're gonna turn things around.
And being such a highly rated recruit coming from a state like Alabama, obviously there's University of Alabama, there's Auburn. Arkansas doesn't play Alabama next year in football, but they do play Auburn. What's that going to be like? I'm sure a bunch of teammates and friends from your state and everything. I'm sure plenty went to Auburn.
Yeah, man. My whole family wanted me to play Alabama. I end up getting the Alabama offer late. Like I think that was my 44th offer. I always wanted to prove myself to them if I ever win against them. I just had that in the back of my mind. I want to prove myself. I don't want to join them. I don't want to play with them. I just want to beat them. I don't care where I go. So, but like playing Auburn, I got some friends over there too. I think that's gonna be great competition. That'll be good for the next couple of years though. Coach Freeze on over there, but hey, we ain't gonna back down just because I know they got us this year, but just we coming different though. I just know that though with this new staff and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, Kavion, a lot of people maybe don't know a ton about you. Is there anything, about you that stands out that, fans might be interested to know? Any fun facts about you? Just anything that you might want the Arkansas fans to know about you?
Hey, not really. I just like to play. I like to hit people in the mouth. That's all. I just like to. Hey, I just like to hit. So.
I think Arkansas fans will be able to appreciate that. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Blue collar answer. That's all you need right there.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You talked a little bit about the new staff coming in. I think you name dropped Bobby Petrino. How much do you know about Bobby Petrino's time here? How excited are you? I know you don't play on offense, but how excited are you to get to play for a team that has Bobby Petrino and just the staff in general, the new staff? What stands out about them? Because I think you were recruited by the previous staff a little bit, so just new staff members. What do you think about them in general?
The new staff, they got amazing staff. I know defense was holding up good all season, but I know they let some games slip by a large amount of points. But Bobby Petrino, I heard great things about him. His offense, I think they said he liked to pass the ball, and I don't know. I haven't watched no games, but the guys in the group chat from the 24 group chat that we in, they said they like him. I know Coach Pittman, I watched his interview the other day. They said he likes speed. So I know we signed the guy, I think late yesterday. We just getting to know him too. So he's fast. I know Ashton said he liked him. KJ Jackson, I actually reached out to Coach Pittman before KJ Jackson committed and told him, Coach, we got to get this guy right here, and that ended up going good. So I know KJ Jackson liked him a lot. So I think he gonna turn things around for us on offense too, especially like with the quarterbacks we have. Like people forget about Malachi, he's good. You got the quarterback I think from Boise State. I think I texted him the other day, so I know he's ready to work. He's ready to come in and lead the team. And just like them three quarterbacks that I know of, and just the receivers they got weapons that people haven't really seen. Like one of my close friends, Davion Dozier. I just know once he get in, he gonna make an impact. You know, they got Isaac Tesla and stuff coming back, Andrew Armstrong. Those guys I really actually hanged out with in person. I know like they cool. They stuff like that. So they're better people off the field than on the field. But like I just know they're gonna have a lot of weapons for sure on the receiver side and the running backs too. You like Braylon and all those guys. You know, he already big. He like SEC running back right now. You know, I think Coach said he can come in and play. So like that, yeah. So I think I'm excited to see what they do. Most definitely.
So we have a bunch of questions popping up in our chat right now. All kind of the same. Do you hate Missouri?
Do I hate Missouri? Hey, if y'all hate Missouri, I hate Missouri. You know, because I'm with y'all. You know, I grew up didn't like in Auburn. Hey, so hey, y'all don't like Missouri. I don't like Missouri. So.
Kavion, you kind of talked about it a little bit about how, you know, Arkansas is doing well through the transfer portal. You know, I know you're kind of known as a recruiter yourself. I feel like you were one of the better recruiters of this class. You know, I know you don't probably want to give too much away, but you know, is there a lot to look forward to for Arkansas fans in the recruiting world?
I'm trying. I just know. I feel like something's coming. I know. I'll tell you some guys that I'm going after that. You know, I told Coach them, the running back, his name Jamarion, we call him Fat. We just played an All-Star game together there in Mississippi versus Alabama All-Star game. He told me, I know he told me for sure that it was between us and Mizzou. Like that Saturday I woke up, I think I seen a running back commit to Mizzou in our grade. I flipped my phone and showed him. So I said, you know what to do, right? They just picked up this running back. I said, you know what to do, right? He shook his head, yeah. So I'm trying to still talk to him, see what he want to do. But for sure, I know on defense though, I got my eyes on Bradley Shaw. I know, you know, it was between Clemson. I know he offered from Auburn and stuff like that. I think he's real big on those too. So there's those guys we want to bring in, them two from Alabama. So that's what I think. So we got a good chance of landing them. You know, I know they put a crystal ball in there for Bradley Shaw, but I haven't really got to talk one-on-one with him. It's just like I made a little few posts today. He liked it. So I'm going to have to get on the phone with him to see. Because I think Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my fault. So something Friday, I think that's the last signing. Is that the last early signing day thing Friday?
I believe so, yes. I think the early signing period is.
Hold on, say something.
Hello? Can you hear us?
Oh, man, I don't know what's going on. I can't even hear right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm going to leave and join back. Give me 1 second.
Okay. We really appreciate Kavion jumping on here with us. He's answered quite a few of our questions. Yeah, huge surprise. Was not expecting Kavion Henderson to jump on the post-game show for Arkansas Abilene Christian. Believe it or not, kind of surprising.
This is why you always
looks like he's back.
Tune in. You always tune in because you never know what's going to happen. We have a coveted top 250 recruit coming in and talking on the HawgBeat Hoops post-game show, talking Arkansas football. So this is why you watch the show.
Oh yeah, I watched the show. You know, I said, man, let me just, you know, it's been a little minute since I talked to Porter. Always guys over the phone, you know, just keep the Hawg fans updated. You know.
No, yeah, absolutely. If you ever want to do this again, just hop in chat and we'll add you again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We would not mind you being a recurring guest on here if you wanted it. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, like I was saying though, those two guys, that's who we going after right now. But hey, we're gonna see how that goes. You know, transfer portal is, you know, they're heavy too right now too. So we're gonna see.
Well, Kavion, I know you said you didn't watch this basketball game, but you know, how excited are you? You know, coming to the University of Arkansas, they have some successful programs in the university. You know, you got basketball, you got baseball, a bunch of successful programs. Are you looking forward to watching anything else? You looking forward to watching your first game in Bud Walton Arena too?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I had matter of fact, my first game. Well, I think it was last year. I don't know. It was on the junior day. Coach Pittman had took the whole junior day people. The atmosphere it was amazing. That was crazy. That like one of the part of my commitments too. I was like, man, this is crazy. The fans. I don't know when it was. I think it was my 11th grade, maybe 10th grade. I don't know. I don't remember. But they was doing good. That was last year, matter of fact. So they was doing good. Then too, I really didn't know much about them. And they was just hooping. I was like, man, these boys hooping. I forgot who they was playing against. I think it was Texas A&M, if I'm not mistaken. They was doing good, and I just know since I come down there on the 13th or the 12th, whenever I arrive this month. I mean, not this month, January. I know I'll be catching game for sure. I got to. And I might have to catch one of those girls' games once they go against LSU. So I hope they.
Yeah, my final question to you, Kavion, coming into this season, you've already talked about how excited you are. Just, as a whole, what are you going to bring to this team, this Arkansas football team? What should Arkansas fans expect of you? And whenever you leave the University of Arkansas, whether it be, 3-4 years, how do you want fans to remember you by?
Just me being a great person out the field, a loving, caring person, care about all the fans and the kids and the people. But my goal is to come in, I'm always keep God first. I know it's gonna be some ups and downs, everything not gonna be perfect. Landon Jackson, he obviously came back. I want to look up to him. Everything he tell me, take it in consideration. Because my coach said I will be playing both sides, the right end and the left hand, which is the big end and the small end. So just looking at this guy that could have went to the draft this year, so I never been around anybody like that. So whatever he tell me, I take it in, stuff like that. Just that's what I'm really looking forward to be playing with, next to him and stuff like that. And Cameron Ball, I know he's a good one too. I talked to a lot. I know he's gonna draw a lot of double teams. Hopefully when I'm in there, So we're gonna see how things go. But yeah.
Absolutely, Kavion. I think we're kind of running out of time here. We really, really appreciate you hopping on today. Like we said before, if you want to hop on again anytime, feel free, jump in the chat. We'll let you in. You've been awesome, man. Really, really appreciate it.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Go Hawks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks for hopping on here. Yeah, that's awesome.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was 2024 now signee top 250 defensive end 4-star Kavion Henderson, who figures to be a huge part of the Razorback defense going forward. So, I don't really know how to end it off here. We've talked quite a bit about this basketball game and the basketball team. Jackson, if you have any closing remarks for us, then I guess you can take it if you want.
No real closing remarks. Just a win is a win is a win tonight. Awful first half, great second half. Doesn't make me feel better about the direction of the program, but as always, thank you everybody for tuning in. Got a surprise guest, so that was a treat for y'all and for us. That was pretty cool. And tune in next time. We'll be doing this every game, as always. Keep your questions coming, and we'll try to answer as best we can and keep talking to y'all. So just appreciate it.